core group, and I miss them terribly.
Stephen Leanne says, I loved it. Abraham flashbacks. Eugene destroying the walkers with the fire hose. Yeah. Abraham and Rosita finally getting it on. Hashtag Tennessee top hat. Eugene finally confesses, loved it. So divisive episode again this week.
Tennessee top hat is a mullet.
Apparently. I can believe that.
Tennessee.
It's very folksy sounding.
Top hat. Yeah, it really is. Alan Ames, right. I enjoyed it. Wasn't the most action-packed, but they can't all be. I'm just tired of hearing people complain that it's boring. If it's not balls to the wall. You can't have a show do that all the time and not get sick of it. It makes the episodes that are action-packed mean a lot more when you have these episodes in between to gain your composure, get some more character development, and then hit them with the great action-packed crazy episode.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you just said there. Completely. Michael Koska says, everything involving Eugene's hair was amusing. He had a lot more to say, but I just like that one sentence the best.
Drea writes, so glad Tara is still with our group, even if they're scattered right now. What a great asset to the team and exactly the kind of person I'd like to be fighting through the Zedpocalypse with. She's just a good chick with a good heart that's trying to make it another day. Really loving her story so far. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
she's
totally.
Compelling.
And I won't make you pronounce her last name.
Thank you.
John Hauser says, I appreciate Eugene more knowing he unknowingly saved Abraham from suicide. I also understand why Abraham beat the piss out of him. Yeah, me too.
So, okay.
I would have hit him.
There's a vote for unknowingly saved Abraham.
Yeah.
Whereas I say knowingly.
I would have hit him if I found out he was lying about that. Yeah. I would have hit him.
That was a dark moment for poor Abraham.
John, I wouldn't have hit him 3 times with all my force, but I would have been seriously pissed and probably tried to do some damage.
Michael Cudlitz said if he hadn't been stopped, he would have killed.
Yeah. He may have. Okay, maybe he didn't. That's a clue that he didn't kill him.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah. I didn't even consider
Spoilers,
that.
Michael.
Mm-hmm, sorry. Yeah. Nick Schmidt writes, I knew Eugene was a liar.
Justin writes, I think Abraham has PTSD and killed everyone in that building. I think you're right.
Brian Campbell writes, I wonder if this episode will cause Jason and Karen to re-examine the slagging they gave last week's episode. Told you it wasn't that bad.
No, we liked this week's episode better, so than last week's.
That's really funny.
And we didn't slag it. What is a slag? I guess it's not good,
slagging
right?
Is when you criticize
like
something.
Oh, okay.
No, unless it's a slagging shagging, which has got to be bad.
Don't slag my shack. James Guy Luna says, did you see that shit? No, seriously. I noticed that a few of the walkers in this episode had urine and feces stains on their pants. Nice touch by the effects team. I didn't notice, but that's a great touch. I agree.
I saw a still from the episode of the zombie horde, and I was like, look at the crap that's really crap.
Well, they actually don't let the extras go to the bathroom, so some of that might have been real.
It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah, you got to go.
Jordan Fowler writes, I really would have liked to have seen the fire engine as a battering ram through the stench horde of walkers. Maybe next season. Maybe that contributed to the stench, by the way.
I like that. Stench horde. Eric Sherman says, Eugene is the greatest hero of all. He'll cure nothing, and our favorite zombie show will fester and lurch ad infinitum.
Yep.
And it's time to talk about our sponsor, Audible. Go to audiblepodcast.com/deadcast to get a free audiobook when you sign up for a free trial. I don't think there's any zombie self-help books on there. But as I mentioned, they do have How to Win Friends and Influence People, which I'm actually reading right now.
Are you? That's an old classic.
I know.
Dale Carnegie, right?
I want to, be more effective. So I'm going to, listen to that and take it to heart. I just started.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay. But I love Audible because if you don't have a lot of time to read like I don't, then you can do it you can listen to audiobooks and do it while you're doing other things, biking, dishes, gardening, walking, hiking, whatever you want. Driving. One of our listeners, Gijo Puthiakunal, or something like that, wrote in about the new Jay Bonansinga Walking Dead novel called Descent. It's about new characters. And he said, just wanted to report that fuckity fuck made a cameo in the Walking Dead Descent book. LOL. Right. I guess Jay Bonansinga is a Walking Dead cast listener. One of my favorite things about the audiobooks of those Walking Dead is the guy who reads it. His name's Fred Berman and does a really good job. And I want to go get that book just so I can make a sound clip of him saying that.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Look for that coming up. Another really good book to check out on Audible if you haven't yet is World War Z by Max Brooks. It's one of my favorite audiobooks because it's narrated by a bunch of different actors playing the parts, like Alan Alda, John Turturro, Rob Reiner, Mark Hamill, Alfred Molina, Simon Pegg, Henry Rollins, and Martin Scorsese. So it's pretty cool. You listened to it, right?
Yeah. We made this. We talked about this.
Right.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know, now that the movie has come out, it's nothing like the book, the Brad Pitt movie. The book World War Z is much more complex and like political and just deep and everything. So again, go to audiblepodcast.com/deadcast to get your free audiobook when you sign up for a free trial. You can buy audiobooks individually on there, but if you listen to a lot, you can save money by signing up for their monthly program, and then you get a book a month, and you can try it for free using that link with no obligation to continue on. So thank you, and thanks to Audible for your support.
Thanks, Audible.
Obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is a Walking Dead Cast news update.
So I wanted to let you guys know Walker Stalker Con San Francisco is going to be Saturday and Sunday, January 31st and February 1st. The guest list is shaping up to be pretty awesome. We have a lot of Walking Dead actors, of course, like David Morrissey, who plays the governor. I hope I get to talk to him. I'm excited about that. Bernthal, Stephen Yun, Scott Wilson, Emily Kinney, Lauren Cohan, Sarah Wayne Callies, Michael Cudlitz, Josh McDermott's going to be there. Bunch of them. But they just announced one of my favorites, Robert Englund.
Oh, yeah.
Who plays Freddy Krueger. Welcome to prime time, bitch. So I'm stoked about that. And this is our home turf, Karen and my home turf. So I want to get Walking Deadcast listeners. I want you guys to come to this. And I also want to get together for it. Since it's Saturday and Sunday, we're going to get people together Friday night for a pre-con meetup and maybe a live podcast. If we really do it up, we'll have like trivia and prizes and stuff. But at the very least, we'll have a meetup. So if you are in the Bay Area and you know a great location, preferably near Fort Mason where they're having the con, or if you want to help plan this, get in touch with me. You can write to me at jason@walkingdeadcast.com and let me know about that.
What are the dates again?
It's January 31st, February 1st. And everybody keep your ears open and we'll have more details about the con and that meetup as we go. It's coming up pretty quick.
It's going to be fun.
Next, so I just found out right before we started recording that the Stars Network has ordered the Evil Dead show. So I guess, I don't know if they ordered up a whole season. I think so.
Wow.
So it's happening.
Wow.
Sam Raimi is going to executive produce, and he's writing and directing the first episode.
Wow.
Yay!
That's so great.
Bruce Campbell starring as Ash.
Ash, baby.
It's freaking great. So the way they describe it, Bruce Campbell will be reprising his role as Ash, the stock boy, aging Lothario, and chainsaw-handed monster hunter who has spent the last 30 years avoiding responsibility, maturity, and the terrors of the Evil Dead. When a deadite plague threatens to destroy all of mankind, Ash is finally forced to face his demons, personal and literal. Destiny, it turns out, has no plans to release the unlikely hero from its evil grip.
Interesting.
And he's much older now, so I mean, I hope it's going to be as great as the movies were.
So, okay, I have a question for you. In the last of the Evil Dead movies,
Yeah.
which the last one was Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness.
And was it Army of Darkness 2?
No.
It was just Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought in the end of Army of Darkness, I'm not going to give anything away, don't worry. But I thought it didn't seem like that meshed with the ending of Army of Darkness.
No. In the ending of, I don't want to give it away either. But and we'll have to talk about this when we're done recording. But I think it did. Even if it didn't, they could make up some shit and make it work. But I think it did.
So if you haven't seen Evil Dead 2, go out and rent Evil Dead 2 and then go see Army of Darkness. You will thank me. You're welcome.
Except for those of you who don't like goofy stuff, which I do. So I thank you, even though I saw it before we ever met.
Like it.
I mean, anyway. I know when we watched that and we talked about Evil Dead 2, there were a few listeners who were like, that was stupid.
Were there?
Yep. I remember. One of them was Grace. I don't think she said it was stupid,
right.
but she said it wasn't her thing.
She doesn't like splat with her stick.
Yeah, right,
or
exactly.
Stick with her splat.
That's right. Or either one.
Whatever.
She'll take them separately.
Yes, she will.
She doesn't mind a good shtick. Here
Wow. Sorry,
my
Gracie.
good friend Grace. Okay, let's move on to listener groans.
Yes, please.
Listener moans, groans, and grunts.
Okay, this first one comes from Amy Einstein, who writes, okay, is anyone prepared to talk about the really bad hair dye jobs on some of our Walking Dead actors? Abraham, that hair color in his head is not present in nature. His mustache is okay. Could they not make the curtains match the drapes?
Maybe he dyes it.
It's very Carrot Top.
Yeah.
Daryl, I don't want to find flaw here, but his simple brown hair color is completely artificial looking. One flat, dark tone. I know there is someone on that set that could do something to make the color look more natural.
But in season 2, they found a box of Clairol.
Yes,
natural,
an endless supply.
And Daryl likes to
She's not
touch
done.
himself up every once in a while.
Amy continues. Eugene, I can only assume he dies or takes a very long break from the episodes at some point based on the 2 inches of natural brown roots growing out the black hair dye that I see on The Talking Dead last night. No one wants to keep a clue like that better concealed?
I don't get that. Because she thinks he dies because there was natural brown roots growing out of his black hair dye. Yeah. But they might put the extensions over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you, though, Amy. You know what I don't like? Here's what I don't like, Amy. I don't like all the girls are going around in tight pants. And I think clearly they've lost weight. You'd think one of the girls would have baggy pants, but no woman on this show, except maybe Judith, but maybe not even Judith,
tight little baby pants.
Tight pants. And I'm thinking, the guys have baggy pants. They're losing weight. How can they really keep up with baggy or with tight pants? It's a zompocalypse diet.
I agree about Abraham's hair especially, but I don't think any of the hair on the show is as bad as some of the hair got on Lost. With Jack's beard that looked like Velcro face.
Yeah, that was pretty good actually. I liked it. That's funny.
Daniel Diaz says, I think Eugene views Rick's group as more democratic than Abraham's or any other group, thus a more preferable group to be a part of. This is reminiscent of Lord of the Flies when Ralph and Piggy confront Jack's tribe about the stolen spectacles, and Piggy asks which is better, to have rules and agree or to hunt and kill, law and rescue or hunting and breaking things up.
Law, please.
I think Eugene is more thinking, I mean, he said in this episode, as we go along, I'm realizing once we get to DC, the jig is going to be up. He didn't put it exactly like that, but I mean, I'm trying to think, why did he pick now? I think he's just feeling guilty about killing people. I don't think he picked now to say that that he was lying because he's like, oh, I found a good group to stay with, although that might have something to do with it.
No, I think now because Abraham was about to lead them into the giant horde.
Yeah.
This is from the Walking Dead viewer who says...
Who wants to be anonymous?
Yeah,
Why do you mock that?
I'm not mocking. The Walking Dead viewer. I guess I was mocking. Sorry, Walking Dead viewer. You're perfect and special just as you are. The reason this episode fails is due to lack of empathy from most of the characters. Since his appearance, Abraham has been a one-note personality, brute strength. He has no emotional capacity except for anger and violence. After the show began, I did read a few of the comic books, and in that form, Abraham shows emotion and is likable. He's a well-rounded character despite his physicality. Not so on the show. Additionally, we know nothing about Rosita. Regarding Tara, we have a bit of a backstory, but nothing that explains her motivation for wanting to protect Eugene. Perhaps she wishes that she had protected her sister, niece, and girlfriend, but none of this is explicit. Perhaps one of her former girlfriends had a mullet. I'm gay, I can say that. I'm left being simply confused about this odd pairing. Finally, this season, the writers have so altered Maggie and Glenn's core character features, loyalty, family, that, at least for now, they've become secondary players on the sidelines, and I've lost interest.
Wait, aren't they still about loyalty, family? Oh, no, because I guess...
Hello, Beth.
He or she's saying, yeah, and they left their group
That's
easily.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perhaps the larger issue here isn't simply the compartmentalization of characters that impact the quality of each show, but rather the cast's uneven range of acting ability. The quality of a show that features singularly Melissa McBride, Denai Guerrero, or Andrew Lincoln is vastly different than the quality of the show with Emily Kinney or Michael Cudlitz. Ooh, harsh.
Yeah. I don't agree with this because I remember back when Denai Guerrero started playing Michonne and people had complaints about her for several episodes. She's just angry, you know?
Yeah.
We don't like her. And I bet you that if they had focused in an episode on Michonne and, I don't know, Martinez or somebody, I'm just trying to pick a secondary character, people would have complained. But now that we've gotten to know Michonne, she's one of these core characters that everyone loves. And same with Carol.
It's the writing.
Carol, my point is, I mean, Carol early on, nobody liked her, right?
Right.
You didn't like her.
No.
You were okay with her dying. And
not in real life, people.
And then over time, she had a chance to grow on people. Her character changed, as did Michonne's. But you know, maybe that could happen with one of these characters. I think people are too quick to judge. And I think now that we have gotten to know the characters that have been with the show for a long time, we don't want to let new characters in. And it's like that, like when you go to college, you know, the first couple of days or weeks, you're like meeting all these new people, you're open to these new friendships, and then you find your clique, and then you're sort of in that. And then when new people come along, you're not always as quick. I mean, in general, you know what I mean? And the show's sort of like that.
Yeah, I also think that there's some problems with sometimes the writing is stronger than other times.
Yeah, but so you like this episode though, so you thought the writing was good in this episode, right? And
yeah.
I did too.
I had some problems with it,
but I think that even when the writing is good, people are still resistant to want to go with these new characters because they're attached to the old ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I liked these ones right away because I wanted a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know, a lot prison. And then
something new.
And then something new. And they were the new shiny characters.
It's sort of similar to just this theme of this show that I've talked about since the beginning, and that is you need to be open to new people and not closed off and just, I mean, I don't mean, I'm getting a little bit too harsh on this one letter. I don't mean to do that because you definitely have your reasons why. You
and really good points.
Characters and some good points for sure. But it's just making me think about this issue of, you know, I always think, especially in the zombie apocalypse, that you should have some facility for being open to new people while protecting yourself at the same time because you don't want to end up like the termites did.
Well, I also think that she's saying one last thing. I think she's also saying, he or she, we don't really know, that the graphic novels go way into more detail. And you can do that with graphic novels. You can't go into as much character development in a TV show, a 40-minute once a week. It's not that it's not that long. Whereas,
well, you need time. I mean, Abraham has some time in those books. Yeah. And if we're going to have that with Abraham in the show, we can't say, I don't want any Abraham in the show. Right. We need more Abraham.
More Abraham.
But if you just think Michael Cudlitz isn't a good actor, then maybe more, you know, you can have all the Abraham in the world and it still wouldn't be any good.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, I definitely still think they're weird the way they talk and stuff. So I don't know. But I did feel closer to Abraham and Eugene after this episode, especially seeing how sad Abraham was when he saw his dead family.
His raison d'etre.
Yeah.
to go away.
And when he thanked Glenn, and I'm just getting to like these guys more and
when
more.
he boned Rosita.
Yeah, that made me really feel for him. So anyway, thanks for writing in. Yeah, sorry, yes. I hope that didn't sound too harsh, but it really spurred on some good discussion. So hope you write in again. My turn?
Yeah.
Eric Sherman says, while Abe and company were assessing the merits of retreating or continuing despite the horde of approaching walkers, all I could think of is all that harvesting equipment just a few yards away from them. If there were any diesel at all left in the harvester, it would have made for the baddest ass meat grinder scene ever. Turn that crop of zombies into mulch.
Oh, Eric Sherman. I like how you think,
me too.
My friend.
I want to see something like that.
You give me all the anonymous ones. This is from Anonymous, who writes, I had to comment on the idea that Slabtown was like Nazi Germany. This isn't the case. Grady Hospital was a segregated hospital when it was first founded. This comes through the fact that there are owners of people after slavery. Indentured servitude was a way to keep a race of people as cheap working class. Just my thoughts. Grady Hospital is segregated again.
I was thinking about this, and so he or she is saying that one of our listeners was saying that Grady Hospital was like Nazi Germany with the officers getting favors from people. And I do think it was a little more like that because slavery, even in indentured servitude, you're sort of overtly compelled. You have no choice. And it seemed, I don't know much about Nazi Germany, but I thought at least early on, you had the illusion of freedom, even though there were people who were obviously considered second-class citizens, right? Mm-hmm. They still had the illusion of freedom, and they probably had to curry favor with the Nazis in order to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, and that's how it was.
That's how it was at the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Anonymous has a good point.
Anonymous.
Love you, Anonymous.
Your turn, right? Or is my turn?
Your turn.
My turn. From Gary. Oh my goodness, a few shows ago you guys were talking about the movie Identity, but who played the serial killer? Otis from Walking Dead Season 2.
What?
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, that guy. It's interesting because Otis is such a gentle guy and serial killers are not, typically.
Remind me about the movie Identity.
Wasn't that the one with John Cusack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the hotel. And rain.
Okay, let's do some calls. This is Jason from Nobody Cares, Indiana. That's his words.
Hey there, guys. I just had to give you guys a buzz. I just recently got into The Walking Dead about 2 years ago, or not 2 years, 2 months ago. Name's Jason from Nobody Cares, Indiana. A friend of mine finally got me into wanting to watch the show and also turned me on to your guys' podcast right at the start of season 5 here. So I've been on like super overdose, just nonstop walkerism. And I binge watched the first 4 seasons a couple of times on Netflix, fell in love with it, couldn't wait for season 5 to start. Buddy recommended your podcast. I've been listening to all the new episodes, even going back into season 4's episodes. You guys are awesome, Jason and Karen. I can't get enough of it.
Thank you.
I'm Jason too, but I'm irrelevant. But I just had to call because I saw the number in the notes last night when I was listening to last week's podcast, and you guys are awesome. So I had to call because, I'm Jason, he's Jason. Karen, you're just awesome by default, so who cares what I think? And I'm sure this won't make it onto the podcast, but I had to try. Thanks, guys. Love it.
But what's the zombie sound?
Yeah, do a zombie sound next time you call in.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Jason.
Yeah, get some rest. Okay, this is Des from Ohio.
Hey guys, this is Des calling way too early in the morning, but I wanted to get in. I don't care what anybody says. I think with this season, they're finally passing up Lost for my favorite show of all time. They are back in house in this episode. This whole season, I don't care what anybody says about the Beth episode. They haven't done anything wrong this season. It may have been a little slow last week, but the story was good. The whole part with Abraham, it was pretty intense. You guys really should get into watching The Talking Dead. I know Jason doesn't watch it very often. Cutlets, when he was going into the backstory for Abraham, I thought the guy was getting the ball. He was really into the character and talking about stuff that wasn't really real clear in the show about what happened with his family, and he was really, really seriously choked up, barely got it out. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thanks. You saw that.
Yeah. Thanks.
He's very serious about all this stuff. Michael Cudlitz.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for calling in, man. I think that's Des who did the Ice Bucket Challenge. Not sure. Maybe we have 2 Des fans, or Des listeners, but I think that's the one. And if so, you rock.
Hi, Des. Yeah, you do.
All right, let's move on to Comic Talk with Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou. And let me remind you, if you don't want to hear any spoilers related to the comic, you might not want to listen to this section, but I think it's going to be really good because there's a lot of comparisons to be made with the comic for this episode. Take it away, guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Blog.
And I'm Grace.
And this is going to spread between things between volumes 10 and volumes 12 of the book. And this episode had a whole lot of little elements that came directly from the book, but at the same time, a couple of little things with a little tweak here and there. Mm-hmm. So why don't you go ahead and start with the first similarity between the book and this last episode?
Okay, well, the first one and one of the big ones was Abraham's backstory, and we were kind of fed this one a little bit differently, but it was essentially the same story. This one came from volume 10, What We Become. But in the comic, Abe was there instead of Daryl during the attempted rape of Carl, and that's when he shared his story with Rick after Rick brutally killed the Marauders.
Don't feel bad. I've been through something similar. Let me tell you all about it. Yeah,
exactly. But in the TV show, we just get it from his memory, just his point of view there. And you had to kind of infer what happened a little bit more when it was told straight out in the comic. Abe had explained how, at the beginning of the outbreak, he was holed up in a grocery store with his wife and his 2 kids, and then some people from his community that they had known. And then while Abe was away one day on a supply run, some of the men and boys raped his wife and daughter in front of his young son. And then, much like in the TV show, Abe killed the rapist. And, he goes on, he describes the act, 6 men pulled apart with my bare hands mostly. I went fucking crazy. Practically turned one boy inside out. Was a good kid. Mowed my lawn a few times when he was younger. And it was just heart-wrenching that when he was pouring out the story. And you feel so much of that in the TV show too. But the rest of the backstory was very similar to what was depicted on the TV. Abraham's family was terrified of him and what he had done. And they took off in the middle of the night. And then the next day when Abe had found him, they were already dead. I think really the only real differences were that in the comic, Abe's daughter came back as a walker, I think, and he had to put her down.
Yeah. Well, also, the other main difference is, of course, that, he was saying that to Rick after that whole entire thing. Mm-hmm. And it definitely had a different feel. I mean, in this case with the episode, he was not just remembering it, in the episode is just his thoughts. But in the book, we're getting that described through him. I think there's some tears. Carl overhears them, and then Carl confesses to killing Ben, I think was what happened with that. So,
well, he told him about shooting Shane, I think.
That was it. You're right. So it was I don't know. I thought it was really well done in this episode. I liked the way that it was done in flashback and the way it looked kind of hazy around the edges, as though like, ooh, memory. That's what we're seeing there. Mm-hmm. Little Vaseline around the edges. That was great. But so Abraham's backstory, that was one of the main ones from this issue. The next one that we can go ahead and talk about is what was referred to in this episode as the Tennessee Top Hat, but we all love and know as the Eugene Mullet. Now, in the comic, it was Andrea asking him, all right, what the hell is the deal with this mullet? I mean, you're an intelligent guy. Why are you wearing this, hairpiece of the dipshit? And basically, Eugene makes a point of saying that it's, in the book, a little bit different than the show, that in the book, he's saying he doesn't want anybody assuming anything about him, and that this gives him an advantage because nobody knows that he's intelligent if he sees him with this particular haircut. By the way, my apologies to any of you out there wearing a mullet at the
Sporting
moment.
a mullet.
But dude, really get a haircut. Bad idea. So, again, my apologies. So what did you think of that? How they did that in the episode? A little bit different, right? They
a little bit different. I thought it was funny that they addressed, and it was a nice little comedic moment there. But,
Absolutely. And speaking of comedic moments, the next little thing.
Yeah, the next one, which I thought came off a lot funnier in the TV show than in the comic. It was just straight out creepy.
sure.
But
Yeah.
Eugene, the creepy peeper, and it was just a little thing, but it was actually something that really kind of defined Eugene when he was first introduced in the comics. That, he apparently kind of watched Rosita and Abe when they were having sex, and they knew about it.
Yeah, well, what's interesting, though, is other than the fact that slight spoilers for those of you who are not totally caught up on the comic, but, Eugene does have a thing for Rosita.
Well, I think it was pretty clear from the beginning in the comic,
think so.
too,
Okay,
that he had a crush on
But
her.
other than that, it's never really come up again.
No, but it kind of left you with a bad taste in your mouth.
There is a point where it does come up again. So never mind. It did come up again at a later point. And you're right. It does leave a bad taste in your mouth. Like, oh my God, this guy is creepy. He's out there doing whatever it is he's doing while watching these two. And of course, the episode has Tara finding him and discovering this. Nobody finds him or discovers him other than Abe and Rosita.
Right.
Which again gets into another like, wow, you guys are kinky, aren't you? You're okay with this. And I remember even thinking that in the book, like, wow, you guys seem okay with that. All right, whatever floats your boat,
That's just something they put up with, kind of like the family dog, watching. I don't know.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. So Eugene is just their family dog. That's kind of sad.
I don't know.
And, other than Abraham's backstory, all of these things seem to be about Eugene, that the book is, the show is finally saying like, okay, let's get all these elements. Let's give Eugene some characterization.
Yeah,
and
definitely
of course,
a Eugene episode, and
really
largely
is.
Abraham too. But
and of course, the big one then is Eugene's confession.
Definitely.
Which, that held out until volume 12, Life Among Them. And that one, I don't know. I have to say, I think I really liked the way that came out better in the book than it did this way. But what I got thinking about it when we started, thinking about Comic Talk, what we're going to talk about it, was I realized both the two big ones in this episode, Abraham's backstory and Eugene's confession, both of those in the book are hinged almost completely on Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And it got me thinking about how, man, the show has really done its best to make this more of an ensemble TV show as opposed to what the book is, which really is Rick's story.
Yes.
And it's interesting how often Rick is the catalyst for these things. Like we said, after, biting the neck of the Marauders after the Carl rape thing, that's when Abraham opens up to Rick to finally kind of bond with him since they had such a struggle together. And in this case, it was Eugene in the book who had the radio that he kept saying he was in contact with DC, but he only checked once every 100 miles or whatever it was, that Rick simply wanted to see it and play around with it. No, don't do that. Rick drops it. And they realize there's no battery in it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't play out at all in this way. In this way, actually, Eugene has a valid reason why he finally confesses, which is, I don't want everybody to have to go through that herd of walkers just because you're trying to get me through there on my mission.
Yeah, I think it makes him more of a likable character in the TV series a bit.
Agreed. And in the book, he was just a flat out kind of cowardly liar.
Mm-hmm.
And his quote from the book that he says about this, I only did what I had to do. I'm not strong. I can't get by on my looks. I'm not some great leader. I'm not brave. I'm not useful. I have two things going for me. I am extremely intelligent and I am a good liar. I didn't have a lot of options. And as much as they got that same sentiment across on the show, it was definitely delivered in a very different way. And like you said, he's more sympathetic in the show, partially now because of tying him together with Abraham's backstory in the way that they did. And Abe did this in the book as well, we didn't see it quite tied together in this way of Eugene's mission coming and saving Abraham's life.
Right. Because in the book, it was a few months past before Abraham's family dies and he meets up with Eugene.
But in the book, he also does make a point of saying, that gave me a mission, that gave me a purpose,
right,
but
right.
I just don't think it was quite as explicit as, Eugene shows up with his mission right as Abe has the gun in his mouth,
Yeah, and in the TV show, you see Eugene wrestling with the lie more than you see that in the book at all, really. So, I don't know. I think it makes him a little more likable. So it's interesting to see the differences anyway, but.
Oh, for sure. So, I mean, I think that pretty much wraps up most of what was in this past episode and what was in the book. What do you, okay, we're going to go ahead and just take a couple of extra moments here and just talk about what do you think is going to come. Now, this is getting into serious spoiler territory. If you are not beyond where we are in the comics, you may not want to listen. But for those of you who are not and who are caught up, we have 3 more episodes. The next episode, we may not even be doing this segment because it looks like it's focused on the Daryl, Carol, Beth thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then there's going to be 2 more episodes left. I'm really thinking we're going to have to meet Aaron at some point. Or do you think they're going to hold
some
off
kind
on
of introduction to Alexandria or whatever Alexandria is?
Mm-hmm. I think so. And I think it's either going to happen in this half season or definitely by the next half season.
Yeah. I mean, I would think I can see that as the cliffhanger at the end of the mid-season finale. But also reading through these 3 volumes, 10 through 12, it also feels like such a natural time to introduce Morgan, because I think he was introduced in volume 10. And of course, we saw him earlier in the season in the TV show. And so we know he's coming. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him before the mid-season break either.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. So we could very well see Morgan.
And maybe some tall walls.
Or I don't even think we're going to get to tall walls. I'm going to guess that this mid-season finale is going to be Aaron showing up.
Just walking up there
and going, hey, everybody.
Maybe.
That could be pretty cool. And then all of the next second half of the season is going to be because really, Andrew Lincoln, his beard is gone. That's one of the first things he does after his interview with Douglas in Alexandria is to go shower and shave.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be what that is. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Agreed.
So I think that wraps up the segment, doesn't it?
I think so. And we hope you guys join us later this week under the comic covers as we discuss The Walking Dead 134 and Copperhead 1 through 3.
Yeah, so this is a great week for us to be doing this. We do have The Walking Dead, the issues coming out this week in just one day. So go ahead and get out there and pick that up. And if you're caught up with the comic, by all means, if you haven't been listening to Under the Comic Covers, we're available on iTunes, on Stitcher. But find us, and we'll be happy to have you as a listener. So until then, back to Jason and Karen.
All right. Thank you to Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou. Now let's move on to next week on The Walking Dead.
Okay, next week on The Walking Dead, we have episode number 6 already. Hard to believe. And it's called Consumed. And the description is stakes are high when a member of the group members of the group must go on a rescue mission to a familiar location, Atlanta. What could they be talking about?
They keep on saying the group, even though there's several groups now, so you don't know which group they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I didn't, this is rare for me. I haven't seen any teasers.
I saw one teaser.
What did it show?
It showed Carol and Daryl. Mm-hmm. And Daryl was hauling out a body wrapped in a white sheet. And
Beth. Just kidding. I don't know. Yeah.
And putting it on a cremation pyre.
Oh, poor Beth.
I think that they were just trying to give what's her name, proper burial, who turned into a zombie and ate the guy in the office.
Joan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Joan. That's my story. I'm sticking with
Sticking to it.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. I want to see what happens with them.
I have a feeling we'll watch it.
All right. I plan to watch it.
Okay. I'll watch it too.
All right. You ready to close it out?
I am.
All right. That's our show, episode 160. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
So I wanted to talk about Doctor Who here. You just watched the first one.
Yeah.
I didn't love the first episode this season. You did? Good.
I did.
Well, I'm glad you did because for people who don't know and who care a little, Doctor Who changed forms again this year. And now that he's much older than he has been, he's played by this revered comedic actor from Britain who does these kind of edgy comedies where he cusses a lot. His name is Peter Capaldi. And they just wrapped up this season with him, 12 episodes. And this is one of my favorite seasons ever.
Wow.
I didn't love the first episode, but I thought it just got better and better and better.
That's saying a lot, too.
The storytelling was less scattershot. It was more cohesive.
Yeah.
And it was dark and funny, and his whole character is different now. He's kind of an asshole, which I find really entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's scary, and I just loved it. So if you watched the first couple episodes and didn't get into it, I recommend trying a few more and trying a couple more and seeing if you like it. For sure.
BBC
So
America.
it's okay with you that he's not a sexy, young, dashing guy?
No, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked him. I thought he was funny. I liked the interaction between him and Clara.
Mm-hmm. It's way different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. And I like that she, in that episode, you talked about this before, but she had to accept that it was him and had to sort of help him.
Same guy, different personality.
Yeah. Heck, they even had to have Matt Smith come on and say, okay, that's me, man. That's me.
That's why I felt like it was a little weak. Like
Yeah.
they were kind of desperate to get you to like him or
Yeah,
something.
right, exactly.
But they drop all that real quick. And
Oh, good.
It's a new thing, and here we are.
I still liked it, and I liked the promise of some crazy new evil person.
Oh, yeah. That is a great story.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, did David like it too?
Yeah, he did.
Good. All right, then that means you guys will watch it and we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can.
Cool. Okay, well, if you want to give us a call, you can call us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323, or click the send voicemail button on our website. I will definitely listen to it, and I might play it on the podcast.
You can write to us at brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can check out our website with lots of Walking Dead news and info at walkingdeadcast.com. And holidays are coming up, so if you're going to be doing any shopping through Amazon, please go on to our site and click through our Amazon link. It doesn't cost you anything more, and we get a little bonus from that.
And thank you for that. We're also on Twitter at Jason and Karen, on Tumblr at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com, and on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast.
All right, that's our show.
Thanks for listening. Don't get bit,
Eric Sherman.
What? Shit, you screwed up!
The town of Milton may seem normal at first glance, but the shadows are cursed and the expansive woods surrounding town are forbidden. They call it the Void, and nobody comes back alive.
You're headed straight for the Void!
Milton lives suspended in time, trapped by a darkness that seems to be creeping closer